As you know, it did not pass, was close. TRU did do somewhat of analysis of some of what we found out on the county level in terms of voting. Not at precinct level, but just on the county level in terms of number or percentages of yes versus no votes. One of our colleagues did a real great heat map on the precinct level, but this is real basic information. First of all, what did we learn from the rejection of the millage, and what are we going to do differently next time to ensure success? I'll start with Michael.
Quick question.
I mean, there's not one single thing. I mean, we've learned that the message to be clear, that maybe the appeal was maybe focused on just elderly and disabled, but there's economic development opportunities. More about seniors. I think there was just a misconception of what RTA was and what it was going to do, and that it wasn't just another bus system, but it was really about coordinating services. So we had different offerings that maybe wasn't explained as well enough. So there are many different facets. I think the out-county areas where the service was, you didn't see a line on the map, so you didn't think anything was going to happen for you. Those kind of areas could be better explained. So we had those kind of issues as well. And just generally trying to get something done in a very relatively short amount of time was also a challenge in terms of communication, outreach, and messaging. So I think those are some takeaways, but there are a lot of different things that we really have taken through our outreach and engagement, and I think we'll be able to retool ourselves as we go back out to try to solicit another run at this. So we've learned a lot, we've got a lot of good information, and we're going to hopefully be able to get out there and get to yes. Why didn't you vote for it? What do we need to do differently? What do you need to see so we can make this run again? So I've got several different buckets of things that we are working on right now that I think will be very helpful going forward.
Anybody else want to add anything? John?
Yeah, in the 70s, this kind of an evening would have been called in some respects, because we're all in most agreement here, a love-in. Okay. I started in politics when I was in my early 20s, and I was 22 actually, and I'm now 70. And I'm all for love-ins, but I think also being frank sometimes is necessary. First, there wasn't a short period of time run up to the millage. It was 2 years or more, and that's a long period of time in terms of a run up to a millage. And in terms of the next millage, I don't know how it's going to be able to happen because of the way in which the legislature has written the law. But whenever the RTA decides to do their next millage, I'm going to hope that they don't do something that they did in this last particular campaign. And that is to begin the campaign by denigrating the work of DDOT and the work of SMART. Yes. That was inappropriate and is not right given the tremendous amount that we do with these teeny little bits of money that we get. And it's a circumstance where starting out trying to accomplish something positive is something that you should not begin with something negative. We all know what the needs are, and it's the needs that we should be talking about. It's the fulfillment of those needs that we should be talking about, not saying we have the worst system in America. My staff and my drivers and my administration didn't deserve that. And it was a waste of money spent on those commercials to do that. Those are commercials that could have been done talking about economic development, could have been talking about additional services, could have been talked about helping people. And so I'm hoping that the next time a company is hired that's not from Lansing, which is ridiculous to me, since I've been in politics in Southeast Michigan my entire career, a company should be hired from this area if you're gonna hire a company who knows something about this area. And you certainly wouldn't hire a company that just had a track record of doing the governor's work on the road package where they got a 19% yes. And have them come in and do this. We need, yes, it's okay to applaud if you agree. If you're gonna do this, this is really important stuff. I've spent the last 10 years of my life on regional transit, and I was on the last streetcar in 1956 that went down Gratiot Avenue on a Sunday afternoon. And those streetcars were sold the next day to Mexico City. And they probably are still running. So the next time we do this, we got to get it right, or we may never have another chance.
So
Any
let us
response?
allow Mr. Ford to have rebuttal, and then we'll go into some questions about reflex.
You know, this is not a debate. This is real. And you talk about keeping it real. Well, I agree. I'm not arguing. The firm that was doing this should not have attacked, should not have done that. We didn't do that, but the firm did. And I'm not trying to slight responsibility from that. I don't have an argument about the messaging or what forward, and I can assure you, if I have anything to say about it, that there will be something different moving forward in terms of a campaign, because you're right, I don't have anything other than to say that we didn't do well by how the messaging went well or went out there, and there's more that can be done. So I think the issue is, what are we going to do now? How do we move forward? And how do we learn from these situations that have taken place that may have, caused adverse effects on moving us forward? So I'm not going to get into a debate. I just think there's lessons learned, and we need to learn from that, and we can do better.